All right, first and foremost, I give all praise, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, and I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Yahweh Shai. It's Brother Chief Priest Al-Azhar Ben Lawyer, aka the Gorilla Hebrew.
It's Brother Hassad Ben Lawyer.
I'm doing this video. We're doing this video in response to, as many of y'all have seen, I know a lot of people have seen this. You have this this group called Vocativ. They're a media group. They work with like NBC, ABC, etc. They recently, a few days ago, July the 9th, did a video on us that's going viral. It's got, as y'all can see here, 1.6 million views on Twitter. How many views you got on Facebook?
1.1.
1.1. So we're almost 3 million views total. And of course, we give all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. And the reason is, and notice, they're crediting us here. They don't see. I'm gonna be honest with you. You so-called white people, whom you know are dedicating or going out of your way to try to oppose us, or do things that try to hurt this ministry that we're doing. You guys have no idea the help that you're bringing to us. And that's why we give all praise, honor, and glory. It's all for the glorification of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, because the Most High God, what He's doing right now and the work that He's working in the earth is so magnificent in waking up Black and Hispanic and Native Indian people. Let's go here. This is Acts 5:39. Read that.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 39. But if it be of God, you cannot overthrow it.
If this is of God, you guys are trying to, and you've been trying to discredit us. You've been trying to demonize us, defame us for years. Before I was even in the truth, the media was going out of their way to do this. And now as the truth blossoms and grows and reaches the ends of the earth, you guys are working overtime because you feel your kingdom slipping. But if this is of God, if this is ordained by the Most High God, Yahweh, creator of heaven and earth, this cannot be overthrown.
Right.
And that's what we stand on, and that's where our confidence lies. Right. And that's why we rejoice in this video. Right. Go ahead.
It says, lest happily ye be found even to fight against God.
Because you're not fighting us. We are not standing on the street corners to physically oppose anyone. We are spiritually tearing down the strongholds that have our people in spiritual bondage. But as far as this physical fleshly realm goes, we're not physically opposing or imposing a threat upon anyone. But you know who is opposing and imposing a threat upon you, you so-called white people, is God. The Most High God is doing that, and to all people who are contrary to His work, His truth, His ministry. All people, the Most High is physically making Himself in opposition to you. So that's who you're fighting. You're not fighting against us. You're fighting against God, and you can't win against God.
That's right.
It's impossible. Go ahead.
This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 8. He therefore that despiseth not man, but God.
So everyone that hates what we're doing, you hate God. That's all. You don't hate us. You hate God, right?
A little more.
Go ahead.
It says, who hath also given unto us His Holy Spirit.
He given unto us His Holy Spirit. So everything we're doing in accordance of the Holy Spirit. That's what we're doing. Point blank, period. Go ahead.
And because they're vocative, right, which comes from provocative. So the word provocative comes from the late Latin provocat, which means challenged. So they're really what they're trying to challenge us, but ultimately, like we just illustrated, they're not challenging us. Really, they're challenging the Most High.
That's right. That's all they're doing, and they don't realize that you can't beat the Most High God.
They're trying to provoke him to anger.
Because what you've done here in this, and you see what on Vocativ, because Vocativ shared this. And I think Vocativ even kind of spoke against this, right? How they're the way they're doing it.
Yeah, basically, he's essentially saying that they're giving us free publicity by doing this,
and he knows this, and that's what you guys are doing, and that's why we praise the Most High so much in it. Is that fact? Hold on, what's going on? There we go. That's all I want to do. Okay, cool. So this is what's going on. We're being praised, or not being praised, but publicity is being brought to our ministry. People are running up to us in the streets going, man, I saw you guys on Twitter, and are hearing the word because of it. Their interest is being piqued in what we're talking about because of it. Because what you have to understand is this coon spirit that has been ravishing our people in many ways is being broken. The Most High God is breaking it right now. Okay. And I'm going to give an example. The brother Tazabah, I'll subscribe to his channel here, Exodus. Ecclesiastes 12v13, Houston. Brother Tazabah and a soldier, Malak Yaiquab out there in Houston holding it down. But Tazabah, this brother did a powerful video here. It's called Jacob is really like a sleeper cell ready to tear heathens apart. And in it, it features a video where a brother is, physically attacking a so-called white man. And because this spirit of loving everybody, the Most High God is literally taking it off of our people, and our people are starting to wake up to it. And I'm going to show it, because if we look at the comments here on Vocativ for this, right? It says, let's just read what it says here. The first thing is, this black supremacist group asked white people in the street to lick their boots, right? So let's see what black people are saying. This is his sister. Girl, I hear something, right? What does this mean? They don't care. She hears something, but to her, it's not a big deal. This is what she's saying. Then this sister, do y'all hear something? Look at her. Nah. Did y'all hear that? Is that the wind? Look at this. Y'all didn't watch the whole video. No, they don't care.
That's right.
It's not a big deal. They don't care that you have a group of brothers on the streets preaching about the supremacy of people. They don't care about white people kissing their feet. They don't care. More of this. Look. Look. Y'all see a problem? Nope. No problem. Look. These sisters is rejoicing. See now, I believe this is a woman. Yeah, this is a woman, right? And it says, I was for it till they said they were superior to us. They lost me there too. Right? And this is what you have to understand. We never said men are superior to women. That's a false misrepresentation that they put, and that they got that from the Southern Poverty Law Center website. We never said men are superior to women. All right. Number one, we said that there is an authority that the Most High God has set up in households for familiar structures to run, and that's man, woman, child, in that order. That's what we said, right? So that doesn't mean men are superior to women, but the Most High God has given man authority over woman in relationships, or in the familiar structure, like a father over his children or a husband over his wife. A final say goes to the husband. And that's something that was practiced in, first off, all over the world, but especially in America. When America was at its peak and America flourished and America's economy was at its strongest and America's families were at their strongest, that was the standard and the norm. Since that has been not the norm and unstandardized, America has deteriorated at a rapid rate. So it's not all that bad, trust me. And more importantly than America, God ordained it. But we never said we are superior to women. But they said this, right? Oh, there's so much that's said in this video. I don't even know what to do or where to start. I want to go back to the Bible. Give me this verse 8.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 8.
For
we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth.
But for the truth. So everything we do is for the truth. We can't do anything against the truth. So everything we're doing is to propagate the truth. So when we have things like this happen and it causes us to go viral, people may look at white people bowing down as a minuscule thing, kissing feet or licking boots or whatever, as a minuscule thing, but ultimately look what it's done and look at the glorification and the eyeballs that it's put on the truth. So it's for the truth. Everything we do is for the truth. It's for edification. And it's in the Bible that these people will eventually be doing this anyway in mass numbers, and not just these average everyday so-called white people, and not just white people, all nations, but their rulers, the elites, the kings, the rich of their people were going to be doing this. All right, that's the Bible. That's Isaiah 49:23. We don't just do this to do it. We do this because it's biblical. And what we're telling these white people who we have doing this is, if you acknowledge the wrongs of your forefathers and you are truly remorseful, as a token of that remorse, you will bow down to us and lick our feet as a sign of humility. This is what we're telling them. And we're asking them, or no, we're not even asking them to do this. We're just presenting them that as an option of something to do in order to truly display remorse for the sins of your foreparents. You don't have to do it. People act like we put guns to people's head and make them do this. We don't do that. They elect. They choose to bow down. They choose to kiss and or lick our boots. This is a choice. We merely present them choices. And what would be convincing to us would be that they would do that they had true remorse. But guess what? We still don't believe they have, because they don't. All right. But let's go here. Proverbs 21 and 30.
This book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 30. There is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against Yahweh. So
there's no strategies that you can employ that are going to demonize us, that is going to stop the word of God from coming out, and the elect of the nation of Israel from waking up, and this power structure from coming down, and the kingdom of who you call Christ Yahushua, a black man, from being implemented in the earth. There's nothing you can do about it. Period. Right? Let's go here to Isaiah 8 and start at 9.
This book of Isaiah, chapter 8, verse 9. It says, associate yourselves, O ye people.
O ye nations. All you be gather together, ye nations. And that goes into Psalms 83. Right, but go ahead.
And you shall be broken in pieces.
And you shall what?
Be broken in pieces.
Y'all are associating yourselves, coming together, trying to figure out how to stop us. But God said, y'all shall be broken in pieces. Read.
And give ear, all ye of far country. Gird yourselves, and ye shall be broken in pieces. Gird yourselves, and ye shall be broken in pieces.
Go to 10.
Verse 10. Take counsel together, and it shall come to naught.
And this is a part of their counsel, and it shall come to naught. Your attempt to demonize us is actually publicizing and glorifying the word of the Most High God and his ministry, and getting the word out and waking people up. Keep going.
Speak the word, and it shall not stand, for God is with us.
You're trying to demonize us, but it doesn't matter, because the Most High God, Yahweh, is with us. Read this in the NLT real quick.
This is Isaiah 8 and 10 in the New Living Translation. It says, call your councils of war, but they will be worthless.
And this is a council of war, because the war of propaganda, philosophical and ideological spiritual wars are the first front of the war that's waged against us as a people. God said they shall be worthless. Keep going.
Develop your strategy.
This is a strategy. This was a strategy employed in an attempt to demonize us. It says, develop your strategies. God is telling you to do these things. Develop your strategies. Read.
But they will not succeed.
But it's not succeeding. Your attempt to demonize us, unless you just wanted to demonize us to white people who already demonize us. You're not demonizing us to our people. We see the shot that you attempted to take, and it really didn't even stick, because we see how many sisters still applauded us, still didn't care, they weren't moved by the fact that white people were bound down to it. Wasn't a big deal to them, right? It say, develop your strategies. Read.
But they will not succeed.
You're not going to succeed. Why?
For God is with us.
The Most High Yahweh is with us, and he's sending his son Yahweh to save us. And there's nothing any of you media outlets, you so-called white people, any nation, even of our own people, there's nothing anyone can do to stop or change this inevitable fact and biblical prophecy. Nothing. Go ahead.
This is Psalm chapter 33, verse 10. It says, Yahweh bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught.
It's nothing. Your counsel is going to be brought to nothing. Thus saith the Lord. Nothing you can do. Go ahead.
He maketh the devices of the people of none effect.
It's of none effect. So this device, it actually is more effective for us than it is for you. And all these 3,000 retweets that you got, and all these 1.6 million views that you got, it benefited us more than it benefited you.
Right.
And it's righteous, and we praise Yahweh Shem Yahushua for that fact. Right. Now and actually I just saw what inspired this video too is this video here GMS Des Moines made. The Sicarii goes viral later with hate group. You know, in between this, the brother Tazabah's video and a video we were watching, which we're gonna get to in a second, which is this video, the best of Daniel Carver, which is the leader of the KKK that appeared on the Howard Stern show. This is what inspired us to the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So now let's watch the video. It says, this black supremacist group asked white people in the street to kiss their feet in show of inferiority. That's actually, again, not what we did. We told them to bow down and kiss our feet in the display of humility and remorse for the deeds of their foreparents, not in a show of inferiority. We don't have to have white people bow down to us and kiss our feet in order to show inferiority. No, we have to do. All you have to do is turn the damn TV on to see that. Let's keep going. The Sicarii, black Hebrew Israelites, are a bigoted fringe group. That's great. I love that word. Bigoted. Who believe that blacks, Hispanic, and I thank you guys so much for this, because look, this is what they don't realize. And shout out, they plugged the soldier, strong soldier holding it down out there in Atlanta, the Baca War.
That's
look,
right.
Facebook, the Baca War. Now his friends list, his follower, number one. And the reason why this is because the video that you're looking at is a video that he posted on his Facebook, and it's got almost 1 million views on its own through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
That's right.
So now people are watching this and saying, damn, they got white people bound down. But now you are actually outlining our beliefs, our core beliefs, that black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. Now, so blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians understand that this superiority and what this is all about is a message geared towards them. They understand that now. If you just would have said, "Just look at this bigoted group," they wouldn't have got this out of it. But now they're getting our core beliefs, some of our fundamental understandings here, and this is piquing interest. So we give all praise Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They did not do this with the intentions of piquing the interest of people, but it's doing it, right? Are the real descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's a fact. According to biblical history, archaeology, and prophecy, they despise Jews and white people. Yes. Well, would you not despise somebody who stole your identity? If I went and if there's a white man watching this named Robert Williams, and I pretended to be you, and I use your social security number to obtain credit, to get things, ran up a huge bill, and you know there's nothing you can do about it, and I benefited off of everything that pertained to you, wouldn't you be upset? Of course you would. You would want me in jail, right or wrong. So in that same way, we despise people who did that to us in the so-called Jew, as well as all praise Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the water James Johnson. We despise the people who did that to us, being a so-called Jew, and you so-called white people who have enslaved us and enchained us and things of that nature. Like, we got to be serious here, right? And if you're a so-called white person and you're watching this, ask yourself, people were taken in slavery. People were piled up as cargo on ships on top of each other. Women menstruated, dropped dead. Men and women defecated, urinated on one another, lived in each other's slop and filth for months from a voyage across the Atlantic Ocean. People were fed to sharks, thrown off planks. They were brought here to build an empire, one of the biggest and greatest countries that's ever been seen, and not just America, but also other Western European countries that had slaves here for free in harsh conditions that led many to die. And many psychological effects and post-traumatic stress was passed down from the descendants of these people to their offspring that we now have to this day. We've had to go through Jim Crow. We've had to go through Willie Lynch programming, social engineering. We are still attacked through eugenics, through eugenics, as well as so many other things. Every other day, a white man is shooting a black man, an unarmed black man or Hispanic man, Native Indian man, for no reason. The Native Indians had their land stolen from them. They now are marginalized to live on chunks of land that all which belong to them. Their food supply, their heritage, all these things were stolen and taken from them, beaten out of them. They don't even know how to speak their languages because of the boarding school. I mean, I could just go on and on and on, not to mention that a black man can't go to Subway anymore without a cop being called on him, can't go to the pool, can't do anything. All of this stuff that has been going on for the last half a millennia. You mean to tell me that we shouldn't despise the perpetrators of it?
Right.
You mean to tell me that it's illogical? Even if you morally think it's wrong to despise people for it, you may have a moral objection, but is it illogical to despise these people?
Right.
That's all I'm asking. Is it? Am I insane for coming to these conclusions? And brothers who are like-minded as myself? That's all I want to know. Yeah. Honestly. Go ahead. You got a point?
And that's just such a profound point, because you'll have, these devils. When I'm talking, I mean the so-called white man, especially the Christian. He'll just come to this conclusion that it's so illogical to have this animosity towards our oppressor. But even the brother that you debated, what was that, yesterday?
Yeah, Issachar. Isaac Pedroza.
Isaac Pedroza. He even understood. He didn't say you guys are crazy for it. He just said, look, I have a moral objection to you guys hating people, but I understand why you do.
Yeah, and I even did myself.
Exactly. See, that's why the so-called white man, he can't put himself in our shoes. So he's just trying to, call us bigots and hate mongers. When if the roles were flipped, he wouldn't even be able to survive all the oppression that we've gone through. And then not only survive that oppression, but then turn around and forgive him for it. Right. But that's the problem with our people.
I mean, the thing is, Salakia, and the thing is, who do they forgive?
Right.
Did you guys forgive Osama bin Laden? Did you guys forgive Saddam Hussein? Did you guys forgive the Nazis? Did you guys forgive the Japanese when you dropped Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
What about the Alamo?
What about why do I have to remember the Alamo? Right. Why 9/11 never forget? You guys do not forget. You guys do not forgive. You guys made a movie, a Western called God Forgives, I Don't. Right or wrong? So now you're telling me I have to forgive. That's very convenient that I have to forgive when you are the perpetrator, but when things are perpetrated against you, you never have to forgive. That's convenient to me. And that's why we don't do it, because thinking as logical human beings, we find it illogical to do that because it only benefits you. And we want to be benefited for once. All right. And the Most High is benefiting us through sending the Son to save us and set up our kingdom and rulership, a righteous rulership on the earth that all people will learn to rejoice in. All right. Claim Islam is a false religion. It is. It is a false religion. It is a man-made religion. Real quick, speaking of Islam, we got to plug this. This Friday, coming up on Solar Vision, I will be debating a Muslim imam, my brother Imam Bashir, on the covenants, and if on the covenant of Isaac and the covenant of Ishmael, and if things of that nature, if Muhammad was a messenger of God. We have a debate on this Friday on Solar Vision ITBM 2 on YouTube. Check that out. All right, but I'm gonna continue on. We already addressed this. We do not believe in that women are inferior to men. We believe in the hierarchical structure of order that God has ordained in the earth, that a husband is the authority of his wife. All right, that's all. The San Diego group, and listen, and also we're not just in San Diego, San Bernardino, Seattle, Dallas, and expanding, Lord willing, through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah. But surely, week in and week out, we hold demonstrations. Got the brothers down there in Houston as well every Friday downtown, where they spew hatred and heckle passersby. And that's not the only thing we do. We also reason and debate in the Bible.
Right.
How about that? Why isn't that spoken about? All of the intellectual knowledge and information that we've done. How about teaching gang members that the people who they deem as rivals are not in fact their rivals, and that they need to love one another? How about getting strippers out of strip clubs and off of the pole? How about getting drug addicts off of drugs and drug dealers from discontinuing in narcotics distribution? We've also done those things, and we do those things regularly through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai regularly. But that doesn't get mentioned, right? Getting, you know, I mean, the list goes on and on. They also post on social media to their thousands of followers. And look, they plug into Facebook. Hey, like the page, Exodus 17:15 on Facebook.
That's right.
Calling for America's destruction. I mean, God called for America's destruction. And it says America is going to be burnt with thermonuclear fire. That's what the Bible says. These disgusting bigots are no better than white supremacists. They said we're no better than white supremacists. And now let's keep going here. And it says, no better than white, and should be equally vilified. Okay, so this is where it gets crazy. Also, a colleague of Vocab Malone, Dr. James White, and I say doctor because doctor means falsified.
That's right.
Dr. James White said that we are worse than the KKK.
Right.
Those statements were made about us. Number one, we've never burnt a cross in anybody's front yard. We are not connected to lynchings. But I want to watch. See this brother, the brother sitting to my left here, my esteemed colleague, brother, Officer Asad Karaba, lawyer. Last night we chilling, and he goes, man, type in the best of Daniel Carver part 2 and watch it. And this man, Daniel Carver, is a KKK leader. And he had several appearances on the Howard Stern show, the infamous Howard Stern show. And I listened to this man, and I realized that we don't have the same hatred that the KKK has. I mean, I honestly, and I mean, the Southern Poverty Law Center and the Anti-Defamation League, the Anti-Defamation League in specifics has deemed me one of the most racist and hateful individuals in America, myself. And that was a title that I held to, and I had a little bit of pride in. I watched this man Daniel Carver last night, and I realized that the level of hate that the Ku Klux Klan has for Black people, Hispanics, Native Indians, as well as other peoples, Asians, it pales in comparison. Like, I really thought, that's why, I mean, the Most High said we're going to do after his hatred when the time comes and when our kingdom is established. But this white man right here, we're not as equally as bad as white supremacists on no way, and we certainly aren't worse than the KKK.
Right.
This clip, which we're going to go over, is a clear demonstration of that asinine assertion. The assertion is asinine. All right, just watch.
Who's joining us today? Trick Daddy's new album is out in stores right now. Trick Daddy, welcome to the Squares.
What's that, man?
How's the album selling?
We doing good.
Yeah, I love that song of yours. I do like that new hit song that you have.
And I appreciate it. I got many more for you coming up soon.
Trick Daddy, you sit next to the very famous Kelly Clarkson. How's that feel?
She's sexy.
Hey. Thank you, Trick Daddy. Trick Daddy's album
Wow.
in stores right now.
This is just madness. What's going
Now you
on?
got to go pick it up. It's called Married to the Streets, featuring the single Let's Go. It's available in stores. And in our center square is Daniel Carver from the Ku Klux Klan. Daniel, who are you voting for in the election? I know you don't like Black people, you don't like Jews, you don't like Puerto Ricans. You're with the...
You don't like Black people, you don't like Jews, you don't like Puerto Ricans.
You don't like anybody. It's like, also, if I may, just going back to that Vocativ thing, they mentioned in the video that we claim Islam is a false religion, right? As if that's a negative thing. Then they turn around, right? Just right after defending Islam, they say, and then we call for America's destruction. Don't you know Islam calls for America's destruction?
Of course, they call America Big Satan.
The great Satan. That's right. So how are you going to defend Islam and then try to come up against us for calling for America's destruction when the very religion that you just tried to sit up here and defend calls for the same destruction, the same place? Come on, man.
It's they literally just took tidbits of what was on the SPLC website and just made it into a video with videos of white people kissing our feet and a little bit of us teaching and one brief soundbite.
Let's claim you don't like Mexicans. Who's the candidate that you're voting for?
We're going to vote for George Bush.
I have a feeling.
Now, why is that? Do you have any feelings about...
Him and Terry both are about the same on letting them Mexicans come into the country. But
You see that?
Bush, he's more moral. He's against.
You see that? He said they're about the same on letting the Mexicans come into the country. You see that? This is that same hatred now that we are seeing being openly spoken about by Donald Trump. This was the foundation, because I remember this is Trick Daddy's going to mention. This is when Let's Go came out. If y'all remember when Let's Go came out as a record. When did Let's Go come out? That was early 2000, probably 2003, 2004ish. You know, and that was who did he have on there? He had Lil Jon. I want to say it was Lil Jon and somebody else on there. Maybe Bone Crusher. I forget. But anyway, so this was about 14 years ago, right? So we have to remember these are all the beginning stages, and now we see white people getting behind this more openly now because the Klan has gone more covert, and he's going to talk about that. All right, but let's keep going.
Abortions. He's against homosexuals. He believes in God, the same God we believe in. I don't know what Terry believes in.
Now, I noticed you're wearing your Ku Klux.
Oh, real quick, I want to say the water to the brother Derek Yehudi. All right, the water king. Appreciate the super chats. Anybody want to send super chat? We appreciate it. Thanks for funding this ministry, y'all. Bashim y'all, Shabrak Thumb. To everybody in the room watching and rocking of the nation of Israel.
Right.
We know the devils are watching.
Right.
All right, to you, Yahweh Shalak. All right, Waharayam, Waharagim. All right, but let's Mashapayim. But go ahead. What's wrong with this
Klan
thing?
hood, and you're sitting under Trick Daddy, and your hood is almost going right up Trick Daddy. Trick Daddy, you must hate this guy. I mean,
I'm about to kick him in the top of his head. You ain't gonna kick nothing, nigger.
You see that? You see that? You ain't gonna kick nothing. This man, and you'll see as this footage progresses. And it's crazy because we get our videos taken down for hate speech all the time, but stuff like this gets to sit on YouTube.
Right.
With 311,000 views more until Vocativ did this video was more views than we. And excuse me. But that's something I want to point out too, and that's why the Most High is so beautiful. We've been posting on YouTube, as Vocativ said, to our thousands of followers, right? YouTube took down our biggest channel that had 19,000 subs. Just took down another one of our channels that had 7,000 subs. Now this one is just over 6,000. Got another one approaching 5, another one over 4,000. All praise Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But even with all of that, the biggest video we ever had got about in between 260 and 270,000 views on a channel that now even no longer exists. Which was a video about it was called Donald Trump Hates Mexicans. But we all the years that we've been on YouTube, we've been on YouTube for 7 years now. And all the years I've been on YouTube uploading Hebrew Israelite content, I have never got more than about 250,000 views. So we could have never on our own, through our own social media, get this many views as Vocativ has got us. So we also, that's why we praise Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, because our message was exposed to literally millions of people, and more people than we personally could have reached, because Vocativ did this. All right, this is why they don't realize they're shooting themselves in the foot with this stuff. But let's continue on. But notice, every time this dude, Daniel Carver, never will refer to Trick Daddy, a respectable grown black man, as anything but a nigger this whole time. He won't say sir, man. He won't respectfully address a black person on any level, right? We still will have respectable, you'll see us cursing white folks. I don't get it twisted. But you also see us having respectable dialogues with white people. You'll see us having peaceful dialogues with white people where we're not screaming, yelling, nothing, having regular conversations, reasoning back and forth biblically and on certain things. There are loads of videos of us doing this. But this white man has to call him a nigger every single time he addresses him. Why? Because that's where his level of hatred is. And also his level of jealousy. But let's continue. That's Esau jealous of his brother Jacob.
All right, Cracker, watch your mouth.
See, he calls him crazy. All right, Cracker, watch your mouth. Now watch this. It's going to progress. He doesn't call him a cracker again. I wish he would have continued using that cracker boy, especially after he called him a nigga that quick. I honestly probably would have beat his ass. That's just me. If they were in, I don't know how this was filmed, if they were in the same vicinity of one another, I'm not familiar. But I can tell you that if this devil would have did that, or a lot of so-called brothers, if this devil would have had the audacity to do this in the actual presence, it would have been a fight. And as we see now, these type of altercations are actually happening more and more through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Trick Daddy will kick your ass, Daniel Carver.
Trick Daddy won't do nothing.
Your mama should have swallowed you, boy.
He's just an example of what the world's coming to.
Trick Daddy's an artist. He
He ain't an artist, he's a dumb nigger.
You see that? But we are worse than the KKK. He's not an artist. He's a I wouldn't have said that about Bon Jovi. If they would have said, you know, Bon Jovi's an artist, I wouldn't have said Bon Jovi's not an artist. He's a dumb cracker. I wouldn't have said that. Okay, Bon Jovi's an artist. Next, what? Now what? You know, that's crazy. Hey, but maybe we need to step our hate up.
Right.
You know.
I wish you was my master. I would have poisoned you a long time ago.
Trick Daddy, if you had lived in the Deep South during the plantation days, you would have turned on your master in 2 seconds.
I would have had sex with his mama. You'd have had a lot of brown sisters and brothers.
See, but you know, which is funny, and of course we know that white women are the easiest women to obtain. We understand that, but we also have to get out of the spirit of wanting to stick it to the man through sticking it to his woman. How we really want to just be sticking it to the so-called white man is by sticking it to our own woman and having Black and Hispanic, Native Indian love and children and families and strong household. That's what we need. We don't need to keep sticking it to this white woman. There's no glory in getting a white woman because she's the easiest woman to get.
Right.
It's like, I mean, you see everybody with the white woman. What nation can't get him a white woman? That's like waking up in the morning,
right,
breathing. You know what I mean?
That Daniel?
He'd been out there in the barn tied up with a mule like the nigger he is.
You see that? He'd have been out there in the barn tied up like a mule, like the nigger he is. This is real hatred. This is real racism. But you gonna say that we worse than them or we the same as them? Nah, this is something different. This is something a lot different. Go ahead.
This book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 31. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud.
And this is how we know who this is talking about, because nobody is prouder than so-called white people. He's literally nonchalantly talking about a black man who has the physical ability to beat the hell out of him. It's already been acknowledged by his white brother, Howard Stern. And it's clear by anybody with a pair of eyes can tell that this old white man would get his ass whooped by Trick Daddy, when a lot of niggas done got their ass whooped by Trick Daddy, who are in much more formidable and combative shape than this devil Daniel Carver. Yet he's nonchalantly speaking as if he is not batting an eyelash to the potential threat of violence from Trick Daddy to him. That's pride, if I've ever seen it. And that's why these are the most proud people, the Edomites, the so-called white man, because that's who you are. You're not white. All right. You're a redneck. All right. That's why you're an Edomite. Edom means red. Right.
Well, I got news for you. You don't know Trick Daddy then. Well, this is going to be.
I don't know him. I don't want to know him. That's what's wrong with the country today. Too many white people knowing niggers. We don't know.
You hear this, dude? But we're this bad? I'm trying to get this bad. I'm trying to talk about the white man like the dog that he is on this level.
Need to know him. Stay away from him. Avoid him. And all.
It's too many rednecks having sex with their daughters.
There ain't enough rednecks. There ain't enough rednecks.
Well,
If we had more rednecks, we'd clean up this country and get rid of these niggers. The country's getting darker and darker. Crime continues to rise.
The country is getting darker and darker because you people are biologically inferior. That's not hate speech. That's scientific fact. Before I knew I was a Hebrew Israelite, when I was 15 years old in freshman biology, I walk into freshman biology. Who did I have? Mr. Barton. That was his name. Mr. Barton. White man. Balding white man. I walks up into class, and this class you had white people. You had there was actually in this biology class, I was the only black person in class, and you had a couple Hispanics and Asians. And Mr. Barton begins to look at every white kid, every one of his fellow white people in the room, and begins to explain to them that according to biology, which is the subject of this class, you guys are inferior. And the lighter your hair and the lighter your eyes, the more inferior you are. And I watched the shock set it on these white people who always have believed in the dream of white supremacy, that blonde hair and blue eyes were a symbol of superiority. He began to biologically break down how it was inferior. He went into hair texture, all of these things. And then he called on me in the back because, now mind you, for those of y'all who may not be seeing me, I'm quote unquote mixed. But I'm the only black person in class. So he points on me in the back and begins to talk about how the characteristics and traits that I inherited from my father actually made me biologically superior to the rest of the room. So I understood this because I took freshman and high school level biology. This is not dictated by, oh, you have preconceived prejudices because you're a racist.
Right.
This is just from studying science. Science that you people swear by says that you are biologically inferior. You. And that's why this country is becoming progressively darker, because the dominance and superiority of the darker races is inevitably taking over. But it's going to be sped up by who the world calls Christ Yahushua, a black man, a dark-skinned, woolly-haired, loud-mouthed, powerful black man. Yahushua.
Taxes are going higher and higher.
Because you don't bathe, boy.
Because you don't bathe, boy.
No, it ain't because of me. It's because of the white people are trying to cater to the niggers to get their votes. It's a politically correct thing to do. We need to quit being politically correct. Stand up for our God.
You hear what he said? This is what Trump said. We need to stop being politically correct.
Separate us from you.
And that's why when he made that statement, that all the stuff about Mexicans, it's exactly what these people wanted to hear. And they went and elected him because they represent the majority of this country. And even though they're the majority, because they are progressively becoming the minority, they are living their life in grave fear.
Y'all, he separated this white people from niggers over and over again. God, he said he wouldn't do it again.
And guess what? We are for the separation. We love the separation. That's where we can agree with him on. We do need to be separate.
He said, if we let you remain among us, you would become as thorns on our side.
And this is what they do. They claim to hate the Jews, which are also white people. But then they conveniently take scripture that it references Jews whom they believe to be these white people and apply it to them. I don't understand how they're doing it. We are in fact the Jews. Our identity and nationality has been stolen by so-called white people who are now calling themselves Jews. So that applies to us, and that is in reference to Canaanites, other black people. This is a beef between two black people. Y'all were non-factors at that period of time. So stop it.
And breaks in our eye, and that's right.
If God had anything to do with this, you would have never made it.
Right. All right, Nicole.
He basically just said that God is going to judge white people. That's what he just said right there. He said, just because of all the way you guys are, if God, in his ignorance, if God had anything to do with this, he would have killed y'all a long time ago. Trick Daddy being ignorant of the judgments of God. But let's, I want to see where does he say the hair of wool stuff?
That's in part
one,
I think.
Part one. Let's go to part one. Watch this. This is dope.
This one got almost 1 million views.
And it could be on.
And this one is even more racist than the last one.
Very good that you're taking off your hood. You are dressed in your full uniform. It is very good to see you tonight. And welcome to Guess Who's the Jew.
Guess Who's the
do
Jew?
you know any Jews?
No.
Have you never met a Jew?
Probably have, and didn't know it.
Now, I understand that you put out a
See,
poll.
and that's what's hilarious. How are Jews not white, but he can say he probably has met Jews that didn't know it. He thought they were just fellow white people. Ridiculous.
Message every day. Every day you have a different phone message for all of the different Klansmen who call you on a regular basis. Now, what is your message for today? Can you give the audience at home a typical message?
Well, the message today is all the white people need to organize and stay away from the niggers. We've got to keep the white race pure. A race war is coming. When it comes, you're going to have to depend on other white people.
He said the race war is coming, and guess what? That's true. Give me that. Nation against nation. Is talking about just separating the nations too?
No, you want.
I want both.
Okay.
I want both. Because it's all in the message of who the world calls Christ, a black man. We're gonna also prove he's a black man in a minute for people who are ignorant of that undeniable fact that he is in fact a so-called black man. I'll read that in response to the race wars. Go ahead.
Con, this is Matthew 24:7. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places."
This is what's happening: nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. This is race wars coming, right? Go ahead.
That's I think you want one people against another, right?
Yeah, one people against another, as well as when Yahweh Shai is referencing to how he's going to separate the nation.
Oh, okay, that's Matthew,
right here.
Matthew 25:30.
There you go.
Yeah, I got you. This is Matthew chapter 25, verse 31.
31, yeah.
Yeah. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory.
Who is the Son of Man? Who the world calls Jesus Christ, who again, actual name in the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashawan Kodash, is Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
And all the holy angels with him.
And when Christ comes with the angels, read.
Then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory.
When his kingdom is established, when the kingdom of Christ is established, and this is his words, this is red letter he's speaking, read.
And before him shall be gathered all nations.
Every group of people, every ethnic group or nationality of people shall be gathered before the throne of Christ. Read.
And he shall separate them.
Wait, I thought it was about integration.
And he shall separate them.
He said he's going to separate every nationality. Every ethnic group is going to be separated from each other when Christ reigns. You can't get around that. Go ahead.
One from another, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats.
Ooh, go ahead.
That's it on that.
Keep going.
Yeah. And
all the way to 34.
Yeah. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left.
That's right. The Israelites are going to be on the right. The heathens are going to be on the left. Go ahead.
Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come.
On his right hand, the sheep, the Israelites. Go ahead.
Come, ye blessed of my father.
Ye what?
Blessed of my father.
Ye blessed of my father. Go ahead.
Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world.
You see that? So who are they who are blessed of his fathers? Romans 9, and I'll start at 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises? Because what? Read that 34 again.
Come. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come ye, blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world.
That's the promises, verse 5. Whose are the fathers of, as I need you to stay there, whose are the fathers as and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came, who is over all God, blessed forever. Amen. Read that part again.
Come, Matthew 25:34. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my father.
Ye what?
Blessed of my father.
The Israelites, who is over all God, blessed forever. Amen. So who is that blessed of my father? The Israelites. And now if they want to play a game, I'm going to jump to 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. So the context is the actual Israelites according to the flesh. That's who's blessed over all other people forever. Amen. All right, nobody else. That's who he's calling the sheep, Yahweh Shai, who you call Christ. Right? Go ahead. You had something else?
Let me just pull this right.
Pull it out.
It's a cold scripture right here. This is book Additions to Esther in the Apocrypha, chapter 10, verse 9, right? Because it goes into the inheritance for the sheep on the right hand versus what's for the goats on the left, right? This addition to Esther, chapter 10, verse 9. I'm going to read through verse 12. It says, And my nation is this Israel, which cried to God and were saved. For the Lord saved his people.
Save who?
His people.
Save his people, the Israelites. Read.
And the Lord hath delivered us from all those evils.
Go ahead.
And God hath wrought signs and great wonders which have not been done among the Gentiles.
Which are not, the nations have never seen. You other people have never seen what God has done and will continue to do for us. Read.
Therefore hath he made 2 lots.
Ooh, he's got 2 for the sheep and the goat. Go ahead.
Which a lot is like a portion or an inheritance,
That's right?
Which in this case, the inheritance come, blessed my father received the inheritance.
That's right.
One for the people of God, and another for all the Gentiles.
There's one gift for the Israelites and one gift for everyone else. Our gift is salvation, rulership, dominion in the kingdom of heaven. That's our gift. All right. So now, let's go. You said you had something else?
Just a little bit more.
Okay, go ahead.
It's in verse 11. It says, and these 2 lots came at the hour and time and day of judgment before God among all nations. Remember Matthew 20, all shall be gathered, all nations.
That's a fact. That's
Verse 12.
Precept. Go ahead.
So God remembered his people and justified his inheritance.
Ooh. That's point blank to the point. Let's continue on with Daniel Carver.
So the niggers are going to stick together, and if we don't, the white don't stick together, the niggers are going to kill us all. The
niggers are going to kill us off. Read. I'm telling them, read. Keep going.
Rape our women, make slaves out of our children.
They're going to rape our women and make slaves out of our children. Well, give me Obadiah 1:18 first. Obadiah 1:18. Let's see what the Bible says. He says that they're going to be killed and their children are going to be slaves. So let's see if that's biblical. If what he's saying is in the Bible, if black people and Hispanic people, Native Indian people are going to do that to white people. Go ahead.
This is Obadiah 1:18.
Let's deal with kill first. Read.
And the house of Jacob shall be a fire.
Shall be a what?
A fire.
A fire. Go ahead.
And the house of Joseph, a flame.
Uh-huh.
And the house of Esau.
Esau, which is you white people, read.
For stubble.
House of Jacob is the so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. The house of Joseph are you Latinos and Native Indians. And the house of Esau are you so-called white people, including you Jews. And it said that they shall be for what?
For stubble.
Keep going.
And they shall kindle in them.
And shall kindle in them, read.
And devour them.
And what?
And devour them.
Go ahead.
And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau.
None remaining of the house of Esau. That's what's going to happen. Your extermination, right? So let's get
For Yahweh has spoken.
For Yahweh, I mean the Most High said it. So there's no getting around it. Let's go to what is that? Maybe what Isaiah 14.
About what?
Enslaving their children. Maybe
yeah.
Psalm 109. I'm just trying to think about which one is better.
Will their children be continual vagabonds? No, that's not it.
Yeah, see, desolate places, distortion to catch them. Get. Let's go to Isaiah 14. You get Isaiah 14 and we start at 1 and we can skip to 21 and we gotta read the whole thing.
It's Isaiah 14:1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own lands, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were.
Yeah, so your children are going to be enslaved because God said it. We shall take those captives whose captives we were. You put black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people on boats. Yes, Hispanic and Native Indian people were put on boats and sent to different parts of the Americas and even Europe and put in slavery. And they were lynched and hung the same as black people were. And they were put on plantations and they built your empires the same as black people did. So it has to happen to you. Thus saith the Lord. Go ahead.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
That's right. Let's go to Job 20:10. Who you going to?
No, I got and children of strangers shall be here.
Go ahead. That's good too. That's good too.
This is Isaiah 61, and I'm gonna start at sons of strangers. Isaiah 61:5. Right, and this is going into the gospel too, so this is a super cut. This is Isaiah chapter 61, verse 5. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the alien, meaning their children, shall be your plowmen and vine dressers.
You are slaves. That's in the Bible. Let's go to Job 20:10.
This is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 10. His children shall seek to please the poor.
How you gonna seek to please? By working for us. Go ahead.
And his hands shall restore their goods.
Meaning his children's hands are going to give us all the riches that they stole from us. Matter of fact, skip to 15.
Verse 15. It says, he hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. God shall cast them out of his belly.
You've robbed the whole earth. You're going to have to give all that up. It's going to be a jack move by Yahweh Shah, who you call Christ, a black man. You think black men steal? Wait till Jesus that you read about in that Bible comes to rob your ass. How about that? Revelations 13 and 10. And then we'll move on.
The water to the brother Mark Israel.
Hey, the water Shalom, Mark Israel, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
It's Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
That's it. You led us into captivity. You have to go. You murdered us by the hundreds of millions. You have to be killed. Again, we're being said that we're hate people. We're literally, these guys think they're Christians. We literally are reading the Bible and formulating our conclusions predicated upon scripture, red letter. And we're monsters. No, this is the damn monster in a silly ass dunce cap.
That's right.
All right. Go ahead. No, listen on that.
Here's the patience and the faith of the saints.
The saints who are the Israelites patiently and faithfully wait for these prophecies to come true. Thus saith the Lord God, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh. But let's keep going, because he's going to cut the hell out of himself.
Well, you want to, but it ain't going to be funny when they start.
Hey, look, and he's right. And hey, look, it ain't going to be funny. Give me that. It shall be as a chase roll.
Yeah,
because he's right. He's talking about, look, these niggas, they're going to start killing us. They're going to just enslave our children. It ain't going to be funny. He's right. That's something I firmly agree with him on. Go ahead.
It's Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14. And it shall be as the chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up.
Oh, that no man taketh up. Go ahead.
They shall every man turn to his own people. And
meaning race, just like he said, it's going to be white people. You're going with white people, black people with black people. Right, read.
And it's like, they shall every man turn to his own people and flee every one into his own land.
Exactly. Be as a chase row means these white folks are going to be running like a scared deer, like Bambi. That's what God said, that this white man going to turn into Bambi. That's why he's saying it ain't going to be funny when we start. It's just going to be Bambi out here, right? We'll keep going. There's more in it.
At least two more verses.
Select it.
Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
All you blacks and Hispanics that want to join unto them, you want to save your little white girlfriend or your white boyfriend, you're going to have to fall by the sword too. That's why you need to separate from these heathens. Go ahead.
Their children also shall be dashed to pieces.
There we go. His kid, he talked about his children. There it is in the Bible. Go ahead.
Before their eyes.
We just reading the Bible, man. Go ahead. And they're going to see it. That's why it's not going to be funny when it happens, because you're going to witness it.
Exactly.
And you're not going to have to, just like we couldn't do nothing when you ripped sons off the breasts of mothers and sold them into slavery. You lynched and hung. We couldn't do anything about it. You ain't going to be able to do nothing about this. Thus saith the Lord.
It says, their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. And real quick, if I may, just to touch upon the point, the scriptures say, I believe it's Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter, what says that if we keep the commandments, he's going to put all the curses upon the heathen. So in the same way that we had to see, because of the curses, our wives get ravished before our very eyes, they're going to see it because the Most High God is going to put the curses on them.
That's right. That's damn right.
I think that's Deuteronomy 30 and I don't know, Deuteronomy 30 and something.
If you can find it, let me know.
Hate black people. I mean, was this a learned thing? Where did it come from, do you think?
130 years ago, niggers were slaves. 200 years ago, they were swinging from trees and living in caves.
Who lived in caves in West Africa? Like, this is how uneducated. We're as bad as the KKK, but y'all got to admit, we are far more educated than the KKK. Like, we literally know, like, about, what about the Songhai Empire? What about the Kingdom of Mali, Mansa Musa, the Dahomey Kingdom? All these, we had empires and kingdoms in West Africa, not even to scratch the surface on black nobility in Europe. We could just stay in Africa and show you how much more smarter we are than you so-called white folks, especially you damn KKK inbreds, all day. But you're going to call us on these guys' level? That's insanity. You had the precept. Go ahead.
It's Deuteronomy 30 and 7. It says, and Yahweh thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies.
You see that? So these curses that came on us, they gonna come on you.
Come.
Meaning we gonna put you on cargo slave ships and sell you around the
Come.
damn world. Go ahead.
And on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
Which person? That's y'all. You hate us. It's coming out of your mouth. You don't deny it. You persecute us, right? So let's continue on.
When the Bible was written and Jesus were here, they were the beasts of the field.
I would. He said we're the beasts of the field. Listen close. He said when the Bible was written and Jesus was here, we were the beasts of the field. Listen to this.
The Bible says they were beasts that wore clothing, the beasts that cried, the beasts with hands. That's what he's talking about, the niggers.
Now, Marie, you don't feel like a beast,
He said that's what they were talking about, the niggas, right?
do you?
Hell no.
No, you don't feel like that. Do you believe any of these things?
No. So what you see me hanging from a tree?
Daniel, it seems to me that there's a little tension between the two of you. You feel that at all in the room?
You
No?
think it's sexual hard?
Is there a sexual tension between the two of you or not? Absolutely
It's
not.
a tension, yeah.
Daniel, you would never make love to a black woman, am I correct?
You're correct.
I am correct. Have you ever made love to a white man, Marie? Marie, have you ever made love to a white man?
Yeah.
You have.
That's disgusting.
That was it.
Just like that. What?
It was
Said just like Daniel.
He just said it's Listen, he's literally saying it's bestiality to deal with a black woman. But you black woman to get with a white man.
Come on.
They're into bestiality. They have animal brothels. They
That's
look
right.
at dealing with you like a beast, man.
That's right.
Leave the devil alone.
Why would it be?
For a human to go with an animal is bestiality.
He's a human. Human means man of color. He's a human, right? But listen, he's getting ready to commit suicide right now.
Right.
Watch this.
What you mean an animal?
Well, he thinks of
Do
you
I
as
look
an
like
animal.
an animal to you?
Yeah, I tell you, she seems like a very lovely
Do I
woman,
look
Daniel.
like an animal to you? Can you answer that?
Yeah. You've got wool instead of hair.
He just said when Jesus, in the Bible time, when Jesus was on the scene, they were called the beasts of the field, right? And he believed Jesus is white, but he just said you have wool instead of hair.
Come on.
Read that.
This is Daniel chapter 9, verse /7, verse 9.
Hold on, I need Revelation
You want Revelation?
because he said Jesus. We'll get there.
This is Revelation 1:14.
Uh-huh.
It says, his head and his hairs
Jesus Christ. Read.
were white.
You're 1 and 1. Get 1 and 1.
This is
Yeah,
Revelation
one.
chapter 1, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
The revelation of Jesus Christ.
The revealing, meaning the taking off the veil of Jesus. Jesus Christ is being shown. The first thing he shows us is how he looks. Revelations 1 and 1. Then go to 14.
Which God gave unto him
Uh-huh.
to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
Go ahead.
And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
Read on.
Verse 14. It says, his head and his hairs were white like wool,
Were white like wool. Read.
as white as snow,
As white as snow. So he had woolly hair. Go ahead.
and his voice as the sun, and his eyes were as a flame of fire,
Uh-huh.
and his feet like unto fine brass,
Uh-huh.
as if they burned in a
The
furnace.
same color as this sister, same hair texture as this sister. That's what Christ is described to have had. But you're talking about we were beasts of the field. That would make Christ a beast of the field.
Come on.
You idiot. You that dunce cap is so fitting. You're an idiot.
That's right.
I remember when I was a little kid. I had to be young, maybe 8, 9. I told my pops, I said, because they're the Ku Klux Klan, but I called them the No Clue Klux Klan because they're just idiots. I made that up as a kid, a scoff at y'all, right? You have no clue what's going on. That's before I had a clue what's going on. I knew you didn't have a clue, right? Go ahead.
It says, verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace.
Now watch. What is he going to say?
You've got
What do
big
you
wide
think you look
nose,
like?
you've got animal colored skin, and you
Christ had animal colored skin. Brass, which is brown as if it burnt in a furnace, a dark brown, the same as this sister. You saying that she got animal colored skin and wool instead of hair? Well, Jesus Christ had the same thing, whose name is Yahushua, your future slave master, Daniel Carver, the future master of this whole earth, that saith the Lord.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And his voice is sounding many waters.
And he's loud.
Okay.
It's like y'all call us loud. Well, Christ was loud. He had to talk to all them people, didn't he?
Right.
Go ahead.
This is I'm gonna get this. Then I'm gonna get Daniel. It says Songs of Solomon 5 and 11. His head is as the most fine gold. His locks are bushy and black as a red. Bushy is synonymous with
With an afro. It's saying he had an afro, man. Solomon. Go ahead.
this is Daniel 7 and 9.
Uh-huh.
Or sorry, 9
9
7 7 9.
Come.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the ancient of days did sit.
This is the father of Christ, Yahweh in the Hebrew. Go ahead.
The supreme being of the universe,
That's
the
right.
number one, bro.
That's right.
Whose garment was white as snow,
Uh-huh.
and the hair of his head like the pure wool.
Yeah, wool instead of hair. Wool instead of hair, right? Yeah, nigga. Now, where was he talking about? People are afraid. I want to say he was dealing with Bill Maher, huh? I want to even play a little bit more.
Smell like an animal.
All right. Well,
I think I smell pretty good.
Y'all smell. You literally have sulfur in your biological makeup. Y'all literally stink like wet dogs when you come out of the shower.
Right.
This is a known, accepted fact by white people, and it's because of the sulfur in your biologically inferior makeup, your physiological makeup, literally. But we smell like animals. That's madness.
Good.
all right. When I
I
do
smell
too,
better
Marie.
than you, so what do you
If
think
you don't
you
want
are?
my answers, answer your own questions.
You know?
Okay, now, let's get into it. Daniel, did you bring any special products with you tonight?
Sure.
All right, let's see what the Klansman brings with him. He has special paraphernalia, various products to sell.
Paraphernalia.
Everybody deserves a plug on the show because, yes,
Let's go shopping.
let's go shopping. Very good, Robin. You're absolutely
And
right.
Robin, you're such a coon.
That's right. I don't think. Which part are you trying to get to?
It was part 8. I think it was part 8 with Bill Maher. Bill Maher and Beetlejuice. Here we go, part 8.
We fought in Vietnam.
Did you?
So did I.
You fought in
I
Vietnam?
fought in
With
Vietnam.
that hood on? It was an out-and-out massacre of women and children. Now, the reaction in the media in this country was, hey, war is hell. We really can't. So you don't find a problem with lining up women and children in a village and shooting them.
What happened on my damn thing? I don't know what's going on when my screen can't be shown. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I can't. Are you watching the live? Go check the live.
It's black.
It's black.
Yeah.
Can they hear us? Turn the volume up. You all right? Hello?
All right, yeah.
Okay, they can hear us. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We having some technical difficulties. You know, we just gonna end this. I think the point was made. So we're gonna give it, but basically the Daniel Carver is talking about how covert the Klan went and how it does have fewer numbers
Yeah.
as far as people wearing the hoods, but he said there's millions of like-minded white people all around the world or in America. All right, so remember that. With that, we give all praise Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and say Shalom.
Shalom.